Sly Cooper, probably the most underrated Sony IP in my eyes, might have one last shot at making a return, but all hope may be lost, and you know why? Because now we have to wait for Sony to greenlight it. Hey guys, Jaybills Games here, back again with another video, and in this one we're going to be talking about Sly freaking Cooper. Probably the most underrated Sony IP in my opinion. The Sly Cooper trilogy contains some of the best I've ever played in a platformer. The smooth controls and how amazing it felt to control Sly, make stealthy moves, was pure greatness. Mixing the smooth gameplay with an awesome art style, story, and soundtrack, and you got yourself one hell of a trilogy. Sly Cooper has been one big mystery after his last release in 2012. Sly 4, Thieves in Time. Sitting here now and approaching the 8-year mark since his last release, we've seen quite a few things happen that put his future in question. The main ones being a movie announcement later getting canned, and an announcement for a Sly Cooper TV show, which was actually close to releasing, but now none of us know what happened to that. Good chance that it got canned just like the movie. Recent news popped up that Sanzaru Games wants to continue and finish Sly's story and that they already have the next chapter written, and that's amazing. However, I personally don't think that raises his chances at all to come back like some are making it out to be. Sure, Sanzaru wants to continue, that's a good sign, we know the devs want to do it, but now it's up to the big boys at Sony. Will they greenlight this game? Hell no. It's clear to me that Sony doesn't believe in this franchise whatsoever. I'm sure the mindset they have is that he wouldn't last in this day and age of gaming with all these giant and much bigger titles. Sure, one may argue that it's the same thing with Sly 4 when it came out, but that game still sold over 1 million units, and to me that's pretty impressive for a franchise that's laid so dormant for so long. Not to mention there was barely any marketing at all put into it. Unfortunately, that wasn't enough for Sony, and if Sly 4's performance, Sanzaru wanting to make a new game, and the recent demand of the fanbase isn't enough for them, then I don't know what will be. I don't think there's any sort of way to really convince them to greenlight a Sly 5, and it really sucks to say that. It seems that Sony doesn't want anything to do with the franchise, and it sucks. Now, I don't mean to be a downer and drain whatever hope the community still has. It's still possible, I guess, for Sly to come back, but me personally, I just don't see it happening anytime soon. The Sly Cooper community isn't as vocal as it used to be. It may be hard for Sony to really notice any sort of demand. They don't care about serving and catering to smaller audiences like that. No game company does. The Sly Cooper community and demand just isn't large enough. Sony doesn't think it's profitable enough and that it will really reach bigger audiences. Sly Cooper's second disappearance here is about to be longer than his last, too. There was a 7-year gap between Sly 3 and Sly 4. We're going to 8 years since Sly 4's release. In my eyes, the chance of him coming back passed a while ago, and I don't see them going back to Sly and releasing something new. Judging from the article that recently came out, link in the description, the final chapter in Sly's journey probably would have came just a few years after Sly 4. Sanzaru originally wanted to make a DLC chapter of Sly in Egypt for Sly 4, wrapping up the story. Something tells me they might be a tad bit late on that. 8 years late. My guess is that Sony didn't greenlight the idea after Sly 4's weak performance. They probably didn't see much coming out of it for them and thought it'd be a waste of time. If Sly were to come back, the main thing they need to do, or try doing anyways, to reintroduce a new and younger audience, much like Activision did with Crash Bandicoot before Insane released. I wouldn't be surprised if Sony came out of nowhere with a trilogy remake, especially since that's a popular trend that proves to be an easy moneymaker. Now, this entire video may seem like me trying to drain the hope of the Sly fans and put them down for wanting a new game, but that's not it at all. I love Sly Cooper, and I'm dying to play the final chapter, something to 100% wrap up his story for good, even though it was wrapped up in 3, and then Sanzaru was like, hey, let's make a new Sly, and then bam, here we go. But I just don't see it happening anytime soon, and I think it's time to face facts. A Sly 5 just isn't profitable enough, and there isn't a high enough demand for it. It's clear to me that Sony wants absolutely nothing to do with this franchise. But hey, who knows? These are just my thoughts and my opinions on the whole thing. The recent news didn't exactly change much of my thoughts about Sly Cooper returning, and the recent attempts at trying to bring him back with the show and the movie failed, and that alone destroyed whatever hope I had left in him returning in some type of way. But I want to know what you guys think about the whole thing. Do you guys think Sly can come back? Do you want to see Sly Cooper come back? Leave your thoughts below and be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more awesome content from this channel. Jaybills Games signing off. See you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching and take care.